There was no way to notice the coming of morning without opening a window and looking at the cloudy sky, which had become a tiny bit lighter. It wasn't a refreshing morning. All that could be heard was the sound of the rain, which had kept falling since last night, and the howl of the wind.
とても朝とは思えないわね。
Oh, were they discussing all night?
私たちの心をそのまま示したひどい天気よ。
My apologies.
なら随分穏やかじゃねえか。雨は降れど槍が降らねえだけマシだぜ。
You didn't look out the window last night, I guess.
雨が降ろうと槍が降ろうとドンと来いっちゅうとこやな。
You have a good attitude.
もう6時かいな。はあ、これで十分とちゃうか。あとは謎の19人目ベアトリーチェが動いてこんことには手の打ちようもないわ。
そういうことだ。だが向こうが撃ってくるだろうほとんどの手は想定できたはずだ。
そうね。兄弟の中に裏切り者さえ現れなければ私たちは大抵の事態に対応できるはずよ。
That could be a possibility. I didn't think of that. Well, no, there probably is. There could be one, actually. We'll just have to wait and see.
もうこの話は終わりにしましょう。結局徹夜しちゃったわね。眠いわ。
そうですね。朝食をとったら一度お休みになられてはいかがですか。
Also, I'm really liking how it's all the parents this time, so I cannot wait to see how all the parents react to the murder mystery.
良い提案だ。この年に徹夜は答えるよ。
As they all stretched, they enjoyed this unrefreshing morning as best as they could.
顔でも洗ってこようぜ。きっとひでえ面さ。
何このひどい匂い。
Oh. Hour of darkness. As soon as they exited into the corridor, Kyrie made an openly disgusted expression.
どうしましたか。ねえ、何かひどい匂いがしない？
なんやこの匂いは。こらたまらんで。
Because of that fuss, everyone stuck their heads out into the corridor. It was a faint stench, but after the complaints, they clearly noticed it. Each of them went into the corridor, relying on their own sense of smell to tell them where this strange odor was coming from.
一体何事でしょう。現時に対応させましょう。きっともう使用人室に来ていて朝の準備をしているはずです。
頼む。まさかあのゴーダに限ってこんな匂いをさせる朝食を作っているとは思いがたいのだがね。
He had a little bit of an accident with the virgin in the fridge. Oh. Rudolph's group searched for the source of the smell and determined that it was coming from the underground. From the boiler room. Oh, are they going to find Kinzo's foot? But the door was locked, and they couldn't check inside. Meanwhile, Natsu's group were on their way to search for someone in the servant room, when they noticed something strange about the parlor.
何ですかこれは。
Oh.
ひどいいたずらだわ。誰がこんなことを。
Drawn on the door to the parlor, in a paint that reminded one of blood, there was a strange, magic circle-like thing.
厨房にはまだ誰も来てないわ。何よそれ。
Ava's group, who had thought the smell had been coming from the kitchen, had returned, having observed that no one was there and that preparations for breakfast had not begun. And they noticed the unusual state of the parlor.
ダメだな。ボイラー室は鍵がかかってる。ボイラーの故障とかそういうのだとまずいんじゃないのか。使用人は誰かいたか。
その悪趣味な落書き、ここにもあるの？
Oh, it was in the boiler room too?
ボイラー室の扉にもあったのよ。
なんやって？この薄気味悪い落書きがここだけじゃなく他にもあるっちゅうんか。まさか森の魔女ベアトリーチェの宣戦布告っちゅうわけやないやろな。
Yes. Hideyoshi tried to make fun of it, but staring at this creepy magic circle while listening to the wind and rain really made it seem like it was a message from a witch. The dripping bright red paint made one think of blood, and it made things even more eerie. Hideyoshi tried to open the door, but it was locked. As a general rule, the parlor was never locked. Someone had gone out of their way to lock it.
これはどういうこと？私たちが食堂で話し合いをしている最中に誰かがこっそりとこの落書きを残したというの？客間とボイラー室の扉に。
どうせ使用人の仕業よ。私たちはずっと一緒だったのよ。全員にアリバイがある。おそらくお父様に何かおかしな指示を受けてこんないたずらをしたのよ。
昨日のマリアちゃんの手紙の件も含めて使用人連中が親父の手先になって何かを企んでる可能性は十分疑えるからな。とにかくみんなどこに嫌がるんだ。まさかかくれんぼってわけでもねえだろうに。探そうぜ。
それより私は子供たちが気になるわ。無事よね？私確かめてくるついでにゲストハウスに使用人の人がいないか見てくるわ。
なら手分けだな。ゲストハウスにガキどもの様子を見に行く間、俺たちは屋敷の中を調べてみよう。考えたくはねえが、こんな薄気味悪い落書きがここだけってことはねえかもしれね
え。親父殿のおかしなゲームに巻き込まれているのかもしれんな。
It's not your father's game, but well, it could be. Well, it could be his game against Nanjo. I'm more or less making fun of my previous predictions now, so I'm sorry. I'm just waiting for something to happen.
私は親父殿のところへ行って事情を聞いてみよう。まあ素直に話を聞いてくれるとは思えんがね。
Suspicion. The adults split up. As a result, they confirmed that the 4 children were safe in the so-called cousin's room on the 2nd floor of the guest house. It appeared that they had stayed up late last night playing. All of them were snoring loudly, so Rosa decided not to wake them. Furthermore, Nanjo, who had returned early the previous night to rest, was also alright. It seemed he believed in the phrase, early to bed, early to rise, and had awoken refreshed. During that time, Kirie and Hideyoshi searched for the servants, but they didn't find them. The servants' room in the guest house was also empty.
子供たちは無事よ。 みんな夜更かしのしすぎね。
使用人室は空っぽや。勤務表を見ても早番は6時からってことになっとる。もうお勤めをしてなきゃならん頃や。
仮眠室も空っぽよ。布団を抜け出した跡はあるけど暖かくはなかったわ。
こらクラウス兄さんたちの想像が当たったんとちゃうか。多分お父さんの指示で仕組んだゲームなんや。あの不気味な落書きを残してどこかに姿を隠してわしらに何かをさせたいに違いないんや。
遺産や家督を誰が引き継ぐにふさわしいか確かめようっていうことですか。いくらなんでもそれは。
いいえ、お父様だったらそういうことをしてもおかしくないかもしれない。
何しろお父さんは大仕掛けが大好きや。例の碑文を大広間に掲げた時から練りに練った計画だったのかもしれへんで。
ならゲームの開始宣言もしくはゲームの説明などがあったりはしないのかしら。マリアちゃんに渡したような紋章入りの封筒が出てきても良さそうだけど。
Well, one of those things are correct.
そうね。ひょっとすると屋敷で兄さんたちがそれを見つけたかもしれないわね。
南條先生、あんたなんか聞いてませんか。
申し訳ありませんが、私にも何が何だかさっぱりです。ただ、なるほど、金蔵さんが何かを企んで大仕掛けを打つことは私にも容易に想像できます。
I'm waiting for you to reveal your witch self, Nanjo. Kumasawa revealed her witch self. It's about time that you reveal yourself as well. Yeah, I'm waiting for your reveal.
一度屋敷に戻らんか。なんか向こうで見つけたかもしれんで。
あ、お邪魔でなければ私もご一緒いたしましょう。
私はここに残るわ。上にマリアたちが寝てる。何が起こってるかわからないんだもの。子供たちを放ってはいけないわ。
そうね。私もローザさんとここで留守番してるわ。うちの人にそう伝えていただけませんか。
Rosa and Kyrie remained in the guest house. Hideyoshi went with Nanjo and returned again to the mansion. Meanwhile, in the mansion, unbelievably, or maybe we should say that bad feelings have a tendency to be right. Rudolph's prediction was right on. Because the same magic circle graffiti that had been drawn on the doors to the boiler room and the parlor had been found in multiple other places throughout the mansion.
兄貴、親父の方はどうだ。
いや、ダメだ。何の反応もない。一応扉に耳も当ててみたのだが、何の気配も感じなかった。
使用人の姿はどこにもありません。一体どこへ姿を消したのやら。冗談じゃないわ。お父様も使用人も姿を消し、屋敷中のあちこちにおかしな魔法陣だらけ。
I just like how Ava and Natsui are standing right in front of the picture of Beatrice. I think that's like the funniest thing about this right now, because Beatrice seems to be staring at them like, oh yeah, I love it that you're all confused. Come on, keep on suffering.
一体何が起こってるっていうのよ。
There weren't only magic circles on the door to the boiler room and the door to the parlor. There were also 2 on the second floor, and 1 on the third floor, for a total of 5. They were all the same magic circle, and all of the doors were locked, so they couldn't check inside.
とにかくまずはボイラー室を何とかしよう。何かの故障で火事になったりとか爆発したりとかしたら大変だ。マリア、鍵だな。
使用人室にキーボックスがあったはずです。
You know, I'm gonna say this now. Of all the characters that are acting, who are interacting with what's going on. Okay, for the characters that I have not seen, you know, let me find my words. Let me speak English for a second. Okay, so of all the adults who were, you know, killed every previous time, so far all three of them are quite calm. I'm actually surprised. The only adults that are really freaking out are Ava and Hideyoshi. And Rosa's unturned, but she's not really, you know, freaked out just yet. So far, only Ava and Hideyoshi seem to be actually freaked out by what's going on. So yeah, let's see how this goes. Okay, I cannot wait till they find a body. You know what? That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see who can act calm as soon as the body pops up. I want to see who can stay calm as soon as the body pops up, because right now, of the three characters we never seen past the first Twilight, there we go, now I can speak English. Klaus, Rudolph, and Kyrie seem to be pretty calm regarding the strange situation. They seem to be pretty calm, surprisingly. I'm actually surprised by how calm Klaus is right now. He could be putting up a front, but he's being super calm for right now. Like, I'm actually surprised he's actually really calm. But I do not expect him to stay calm for long. As soon as Golden Slaughterer begins playing, I cannot wait to hear him scream. I feel like he's going to be like the loudest one freaking out. They fish through the key box in the servant room, because each servant individually carried their own master key around. Those weren't kept here. However, all the individual room keys should have been here.
よくもこれだけぎっしりと鍵があるものだよ。
ないわ。何度探してもボイラー室の鍵が見つからないわ。
見ろよ姉貴。例の魔法陣の書かれた部屋の鍵だけがきれいにぽっかりと抜けてるぜ。
Oh. Interesting.
本当ですね。
Oh yeah, Natsumi's being really calm too.
これは困りました。まるで魔法陣の部屋に入ってほしくないかのようね。いいえ、わざわざ魔法陣でアピールしてるんだから入ってほしいのかしら。
俺は後者だと思うぜ。扉をぶち破るのは映画じゃあるまいし無理だろう。窓を破ればなんとかなるかもな。
Klaus had a little trouble deciding whether this was a situation that called for smashing a window. At that time, Hideyoshi and Nanjo returned. There was nothing strange in the guest house, and the children were safe. They told the others that Rosa and Kyrie had stayed to watch over the place.
おはようございます。何やらおかしなことになったそうですな。
おはようございます、南條先生。早朝から起こしてしまったようで申し訳ありませんな。
なんや、手紙の類は見つからんのか。わしはてっきりそういうのが見つかったとばかり思っとったんや。
そうね。私もこれはお父様の壮大な冗談か何かのゲームだと信じてる。でもそうなら必ずそれを伝える手紙があるはずよね。マリアちゃんに手紙を与えたように。
ゲーム開始宣言はまさにあのマリアちゃんの手紙だったのかもしれねえぜ。碑文の謎を解いてみろとすでにゲームの内容は示されてるさ。
なら屋敷から5つも見つかった魔法陣にはどんな意味があるというのかね。姿の見えない使用人もだ。
夏日姉さん、使用人って今日は全部で何人いたかしら。現地に合田に5人ですが、何か。
使用人が5人、
Mind.
魔法陣も5つか。偶然だろうが気になるな。
兄さん、窓を破りましょう。中を確認するべきだわ。
仕方ないな。綺麗に頼むよ。
I love Klaus's hesitance. Because this is technically his house, too. Klaus made his decision and gave permission to smash a window. And they decided that the first room they would break into would be the parlor on the first floor, where the windows would be easiest to reach. Alright. They had hoped to peek in through the window, but the curtains were drawn, so they couldn't see inside. Rudolph wandered around the garden, trying to find something that would be good for smashing the glass. Eventually, he found a rock bigger than a fist and came back.
全部割ることはないわよ。鍵が回せる程度に開けてくれれば十分。
あまり期待には添えないかもしれないぜ。
Rudolph raised the he seems way too happy to be doing that. He seems way too happy to be doing that. Rudolph raised the rock and hit the glass with it several times. Before long, he succeeded in skillfully opening a hole big enough that he could unlock it from the inside. Covering his hand with a handkerchief, he stuck his hand through that hole and cautiously unlocked it.
後でガムテープで塞いだ方がいいだろうな。雨が吹き込んじまうぜ。
When he threw the window open, the wind and rain made the curtains dance around violently. He swiped the curtain to the side. They could see the parlor they knew well. They were a little relieved, because they had thought that maybe the room would be filled with more bizarre magic circles, or possibly the traces of some creepy ritual. In any event, they didn't want to hang around in the rain. So the six of them, Klaus, Natsu, Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Nanjo, entered the parlor as a group.
特に変わったところはないようですな。
どうしましたか、シャノン。ちょっと大丈夫なの？どうしたのよ、あんた。
チア
Golden Slaughter! Here we go!
南條先生見たってや。
おい、シャノンちゃん、大丈夫か？返事をしろい。
揺さぶってはいけません。今容体を見ます。
She had been in the shadow of a sofa, so they hadn't noticed her until they entered the room. Shannon was lying on the floor, her chest stained bright red with blood.
おーい、バトラー。ほら、シャノンの死体も出てきたぞ。もういじめねえから出てこいよ。おー、いた。そんなところで頭抱えて何してんだよ。
Battler had his head pressed to the table and was clutching it with his hands. His pitiful figure made it plainly clear that he didn't want to see anything, didn't want to hear anything. Had he heard Beatrice's sneering voice? Could he not hear? Or was he pretending that he couldn't hear? In any event, it was clear that he had closed up his heart like a shell.
少しお嬢様がいじめすぎたのではないでしょうか。あれだけのものを見せつけて反論を迫っては、塞ぎ込みたくなる気持ちも分かろうというものですよ。
なあバトラー、反論がないならリザインを頼むぜ。お前の手番なんだ。何か刺すとかパスするとか、さもなきゃ降参するとかしてくれねえと話が前に進まねえよ。なになに、聞こえないぞ。
黙れっつってんだ。ああ、うるせえうるせえうるせえ。何か魔女だ、何か魔法だ。好き勝手にやればいいじゃねえかよ。俺は信じねえ、何も信じねえ。クソクソクソクソ。
You're a broken record player, dude. You're a broken record player right now.
俺に話しかけるな、何も見せるな、消えろ消えろ消えちまえや。俺にそのムカつく顔を近づけるな。
Beatrice instinctively winced at Battler's sudden rage.
そうは言うがな。お前の手番が終わらんとわらわの手番も来ぬ。あまりわらわを退屈させるなと言いたいのだが。
知るかよ、黙れよ、うるせえんだよ。お前のゲームなんか知るかよ。付き合ってらんねえんだよ。俺の番が終わらねえとてめえの番が来ねえってんなら永遠に待ってやがりゃいいだろうが。
You are the Eternal Witch, Beatrice.
ああ、知らねえ知らねえ、わからねえ。魔女も魔法も認めねえ。あんなめちゃくちゃも認めねえ。ああ、俺に話しかけるなっつってんだ。
Oh. What was that? What? Nani? I don't know what's what anymore. After being shown something that screwed up, how could I continue to resist? Voiceless. I wandered aimlessly through the rose garden. It was raining and windy, but that didn't mean my body got wet. There was just a feeling of isolation as I wandered amidst the wind and the rain, without an umbrella.
俺はひょっとするとあいつのゲームにとっくの昔に負けているのかもしれない。
Before we continue this, sorry, Battler. Before we continue this scene, I really need to pee. I'm sorry. I thought I could hold it until my next bathroom break, but I cannot. So I need to go.
Yeah, my apologies. I really needed to go for a second there.
Yeah, I apologize. Now I'm back. I don't know what happened. I just really felt like I needed to use the restroom, so yeah. Alright, let's get back to the game. Maybe I lost to our game a long time ago. Actually, I wonder whether we hadn't reached a clear resolution in the previous game. After all, I had submitted to her for a time. So the world had been tinted with witches and magic. Right now, Wokenjima is a different world, where witches stride around openly and fire off strange magic. it isn't a matter of accepting it or denying it. Maybe I had mistakenly assumed that I was playing a game on an even footing with Beato. I had already been defeated in the last game, and this may just be the signing ceremony of my surrender. Just now, a mighty battle had unfolded in this rose garden. I had seen it with my own two eyes. I kicked the ground. Obviously, the ground was hard, and a puddle splashed. Several towers had split this ground, sprouting like high-rise buildings. The more I kicked this ground, the more it felt like that couldn't really be possible. But because of that, I couldn't explain it with anything other than magic anymore.
密室に鍵が閉じ込められてとかってやつならよくある推理小説の延長だろってことはわかるさ。でもあれはな、あのドッカンドッカンってのはな、くっそ
ー。私の弟子が随分と迷惑をかけているようですね。
あんた。
I was suddenly spoke to, so I turned around. And in the rose garden arbor was the predecessor Beatrice, who Beatrice had supposedly defeated a short while ago. Hello, predecessor.
てっきり死んだと思ったぜ。
Or should I call you Kumasawa?
生きてたのか。
いいえ、死にましたよ。
Mother.
今の私は取られた駒がチェス盤の外でくつろいでいるだけに過ぎません。
あんたはベアトの師匠なんだろ。ってことはつまりあんたも魔女ってわけか。
ええ、そうですよ。
ってことはつまりやっぱり魔女はいるってことで決まりなわけだろ。そしてあいつを倒せるのは俺じゃない。すげえ魔法使えるあんたの方じゃねえか。俺はもうお役御免さ。俺にできることなんてもう何もね
え。おやおや、すっかり屈服してしまいましたか。
屈服も何も。あれをどう説明すりゃいいんだよ。塔が生えたり落ちてきたり、でっけえ巨人が盾を構えたり槍を投げたり。ああ、思い出すだけでも気が変になりそうだぜ。もう推理もヘチマもあったもんじゃねえ。トリックとか人間犯人説とかそんな領域をとっくに超えてるだろ。ああ、畜生畜生畜生畜生。
落ち着いて。私はあの子のゲーム版の駒に過ぎない。こうして番外へ取り除かれてしまえばもはや何もできない存在。しかしあなたはあの子の対戦相手。あなたが自ら投げ出さない限りあなたには常にあの子に一矢報いる力があるのだから。
うるせえ。あんただっておかしな呪文を唱えて塔だの槍だのを呼び出してたじゃねえかよ。何を一矢報いるってんだよ。俺にも魔法を教えてくれたあいつとあの大魔法バトルを繰り広げろって言うのかよ。
Oh, please tell me that's gonna happen.
あなたが望むならあなたに魔法の一端を教えてあげてもいいですよ。
Oh? Oh? Wait. If magic... Oh, if Balor, not magic. If magic started learning magic, no. If Balor started learning magic... Wouldn't that mean he would become a witch that's witcher too if he started learning magical spells and tricks? Or would he just be a mage like Kenzo? I know I was just goofing around in last episode, in episode 2, about the witch thing while I was pointing fingers at everyone calling them witches. So there's definitely more than one witch going on here. Beatrice, Maria, maybe Nanjo, maybe Kumasawa, maybe Goda. And, you know, once a battler becomes a witch of the truth. Yes, battler becoming a... This is stupid. I'm ending this video. Am I getting onto something here? I mean, I called Kumasawa a witch, and she ended up being a witch, so I might not be far off with my prediction that Balor's a witch. Well, could be a witch, could become one. Even though I was just sticking around with that one. But if he starts learning magical tricks, wouldn't that mean he becomes a witch? Or would he just be a mage like Kinzo? But I don't think Kinzo ever learned actual magic from a witch themselves. So Kinzo may be just a mage because he self-learned a lot of magical tricks. But if Balor learned from an actual witch, wouldn't he become a witch soon? Wouldn't he become a witch if he learned magic from a witch? I think Balor might become a witch! If he used that line of logic. But witches don't exist. Or do they? I'm trying to get into a few arguments in my head. The human explanation, the psychological explanation, and the witch explanation. And the third one is the one I'm mostly thinking about right now, but I need to think of things for the psychological and human. I want to go into 3 mindsets because I don't want to have one full-on theory. Unless it's a pink theory. I'm still not in pink for a lot of the story. But this is the point of the game where I will need to start putting things in pink. So yeah, I need to put things together. But right now, if I go with the third idea that witches do exist, Balor is on the path of possibly going in some sort of witchcraftery. So Balor may become a witch.
そりゃ願ったり叶ったりだぜ。あいつの胸板にズドンと打ち込んでやれるようなすっげえ魔法一発頼むぜ。はっ、なめんなってんだ。
日本の魔法に雨乞いの儀式というものがあるそうですね。ご存知ですか？
雨乞い？
サイコラス。
バンバン火をくべて演武を奉納して雨を祈るっていうあれか？あれは魔法じゃねえだろ。火で上昇気流ができて、その結果雨雲が集まるっていうれっきとした科学現象のはずだぜ。
おや、私は東洋魔法の一つだと信じていましたが、魔法ではないのですか。天に聖なる火を捧げ、敬いの演舞を捧げることで、神々の心に雨乞いの嘆願が届くものと信じておりましたよ。
大昔の連中はそうだったろうよ。でもその手のオカルトは大抵科学的に説明がつくもんだ。
物が燃えるのはどうしてですか？物質にフロギストンが含まれているからでは？
いや、物が燃えるのは酸化反応だ。フロギストン説はラボアジェが否定したはずだぜ。
物に熱が伝わるのはどうしてですか？物質にカロリックが含まれているからでは？
そいつは確かジュールが否定したはずだ。熱はエネルギーであって物質じゃない。
Maybe I did not pay attention enough in some science classes, but Balor knows his shit.
よくお勉強していますね。正しい知識ですよ。
ちょいとした雑学レベルだがな。
フロギストンもカロリックも、果てはエーテルも、神の愛さえも、科学的な説明の前には無力ですね。私はかつて木からリンゴが落ちるのは
人に食を与えるための神の愛のおかげだと聞かされましたよ。
重力すらも神の愛なのか。まあ科学より宗教が万物を説明した時代の名残だろうぜ。
その通りです。人類はかつて自らの知識の限界を、いいえ、無知そのものを魔法と呼んだのです。先ほどの雨乞いの話はまさにそれでしょう。太古の人々が火が熱を生み上昇気流を生み出して雲を呼ぶことを科学的に理解していたでしょうか。理解せずともそういう結果になることだけは知っていた。
そういうのは結構あるかもな。先人たちの知恵ってやつさ。理由は分からずとも長い経験でそういう結果が得られることを知っていた。原理を理解できない現象は多分彼らにとっては魔法も同然だったろうな。
Just like this person had just said, ancient people who didn't understand the principles had probably believed that. Through the rain ceremony, their wish had reached the heavens and made the rain fall. To them, that was certainly magic, as long as they didn't understand thermals.
電気のスイッチを押せば明かりがつく。
Yes?
子供は電球がなぜ発光するのか、その科学的原理を知らず、結果だけを知っていてスイッチを押す。原理を知らずとも結果を得られるならば、それは彼らにとって魔法なのではありませんか。
面白い話だな。まあ理屈から言やそうだ。例えば俺たちはテレビのブラウン管にどうして画像が映るのか理屈はさっぱり分かってない。
broad tubes.
でもテレビに物が映るのは当たり前だと思ってる。ブラウン管の原理を知らなくてもスイッチを押せばテレビが見られることだけは知っている。上昇気流を理解せずに雨乞いをするのと全く同じだ。つまり原理を知らないならばテレビだって魔法も同然。いや魔法そのものだろうってわけか。
あなたはブラウン管の構造がどうなっているか知っていますか。分解してその中身を見たことは。
ねえよ。本か何かで構造を読んだ気もするが難しくてさっぱりだったな。確か電子が蛍光物質にぶつかるとき発光してどうだろうこうだな。
Alright, here we go. Here we go, fuck it. This is basically the basic description as the first thing that comes up on Google on my phone. I'm only gonna read that because I'm not gonna go too far into this, but the basics of what I get from a simple Google search is the broad tube worked like this. A narrow beam of cathode rays passed between the plates of the diaphragm. The beam then focused on the fluorescent screen, where the motion of the luminous spot mapped the oscillations of electric or magnetic fields through which the beam had passed. Okay. That's broad tubes. That's basics of how broad tubes work, though that didn't give us any more information than what Fowler understands. But at least it was some sort of an explanation.
それは偽書です。真実はブラウン管の中にグレムリンという妖精が閉じ込められていて。
So Google lied to me!
魔法で仕事をしてくれているからなのですよ。
はあ？バカなこと言うなよ。そんなわけねえだろ。
ブラウン管の中を覗いたこともないのにどうして否定を？
Oh my god, are you using this line of logic against what Balor's saying? Come on, Predecessor Beatrice. Or Kumasawa, as I may call her.
そういったことはねえが、絶対にそんな妖精はいないと断言できるさ。
ここにブラウン管がない以上、実証は不能ですよ。
確かに今この瞬間は実証不能だが。
Is Balor gonna dismantle a TV in this episode?
後でどこかのテレビをばらしてみせればすぐに論破できるさ。
ということは、ブラウン管の中にグレムリンが閉じ込められていて、その魔法で映像を映し出しているという私の魔法説は、ブラウン管の中身を検証するまで否定不能ということになりますね。
なんだよ、あれか？悪魔の証明だって言いてえのか？
Yeah, that was the direction I thought she was going, but I didn't want to say it just in case that didn't count as the devil's proof. But that counts.
お前たち魔女のお箱だぜ。
悪魔の証明は消極的事実の証明が不可能であることを逆手に取った詭弁です。しかし今のブラウン管の話は違う。テレビをたった1台分解すれば済むだけの話ですよ。
Okay, I was quick to make assumptions.
そうだな。確かに悪魔の証明とは異なるな。
あなたの提唱する科学的説明と私の提唱する魔法的説明、そのどちらかが真実です。そしてそれはブラウン管の中を覗いた時に確定する。しかしそれを確かめる瞬間の直前まで私たちは互いの説を否定できないのです。つまり真実は一つであるにもかかわらず、ブラウン管の中を覗く直前までは相反する真実が同時に2つ存在することができる。一つしか存在してはいけない真実が2つ同時に存在できる異空間。
Oh god, are we going into Schrodinger's cat? Oh god. Schrodinger's cat. Here we go. Is the cat in the box alive or dead? If you open the box, you will know the answer. You will know the truth. This is Schrodinger's cat, right? Yeah, this is Schrodinger's cat. It's the cat in the box. However, until you open the box, you can claim that the cat is alive. And you can also claim that it is dead. Each of the two parties makes a claim that according to them is the correct truth. And even though the two sides are conflicting, neither can win the argument as long as the box remains unopened. In other words, two truths can exist at the same time. Even though there can only be one cat in the box. It is packed with a living cat and a dead cat in a strange parallel world. Are you gonna proclaim that is Schrodinger's cat? That is what Rokujima is now. This island is now a different world where a science theory and a magic theory exist at the same time. To a resident of the world of science such as yourself, at a glance, it may feel as though this island has been sucked into a world of magic. While that may be correct, it is not accurate. Strictly speaking, it has moved from the world of science to the midway point between that world and the world of magic. So at a glance, it appears to you as though the world is tilted towards the magic side. But actually, this island is now in a perfectly impartial position with relation to the two opposing worlds.
よくわからねえ。
Distant.
現実と魔法の中間？限りなく公平な世界？どこがだよ。俺に圧倒的に不利な展開ばっかりじゃねえかよ。
ならばこう考えるといいでしょう。これは裁判です。あなたとベアトリーチェが相反する主張を繰り広げている法廷だと考えるのです。ブラウン管裁判でもいいでしょう。あの子はブラウン管の中には妖精が入っていると主張している。そして中に入っている妖精がどのような生態でどのような姿なのか、どのような魔力を持っているのかを次々に説明する。そしてあなたは？
まあ図書館で勉強してブラウン管の構造を説明して反論するだろうよ。
この瞬間、法廷にはあなたの主張とあの子の主張が同時に存在する。もしもあの子の主張に耳を傾けたならば、それはあたかも真実に聞こえてしまうかもしれない。見えてしまうかもしれない。あなたはまさにそれを見せつけられた。今この瞬間の六軒島には確かに魔女も魔法も真実として存在するかもしれない。しかしそれは猫の箱が開かれる瞬間までの不確定な波動関数の世界。すべての状態が同時に説明できる。しかし真実は一つです。それは観測されることによって収縮し、無数の真実が淘汰されてたった一つの真実になる。法廷で例えるならば、これは裁判長による判決行為にも似ているでしょう。検察側、弁護側がそれぞれに主張する2つの真実は判決によって収縮し一つとなるのです。
あんたの言葉を借りると、つまり今のこの島はブラウン管の中を覗く直前の世界ってわけなんだな。だからこそ科学説も魔法説もどちらも否定できない。否定できないってことはつまり、
どちらも真実として存在できる。
The argument is being made right now for Battler's next turn.
だから魔女も魔法も存在し得る。しかし同時にそれを否定するあなたの意見もまた真実として同時に存在できる。相反する二つが同時に存在できる世界。そして相反する真実が互いを否定する理由にできない世界。理解できてきましたか？
つまりベアトがどんなすげえ魔法を俺に見せようとも、それは魔法説の主張でしかなく、俺を否定することには当たらない。ベアトがどんな魔法を俺に見せようとも、この世界ではそれをもって魔法が存在する証拠にはなり得ないってことか。
そうです。あの子は木からリンゴが落ちることすらも魔法で説明しようとするでしょう。あの子は一見杖を振るって魔法にてリンゴをもぎ取り、大地に落としたかのように主張するかもしれない。しかしそれはあの子の主張の一つに過ぎないのです。あの子のいかなる主張もあなたの主張する機会を拒むことはできない。その意味においてこの世界は双方にあまりに公平なのです。
なるほどだがよ、その論法で言ったなら たとえ俺が科学説で正論を示したところで、奴の魔法説と正面衝突を起こすだけで俺もまた奴を論破できない。しかもそのファイナルジャッジはブラウン管を除かない限りつかない。この世界のブラウン管はどこにあるんだ。俺たちに議論なんて必要ないってことになる。俺たちは仲良くブラウン管の中身を覗けばいいだけの話じゃねえのか。中に妖精が本当にいたら俺の全面敗北だ。いなかったら逆に俺の勝ち。俺たちはブラウン管を覗かずにどうして論争を繰り広げなくちゃならないんだ。
それこそがあの子があなたに挑んだゲームなのです。裁判ではなくチェスと例えるべきでしょう。勝敗は裁判官が決めるのではない。戦っているあなたたち自身が決めるのです。
真実が同時に存在できるめちゃくちゃな世界で相手を論破なんてできるのかよ。
現にあなたは論破されて今こうして屈服していますよ。今私に助言できるのはここまでです。
Hey, this is getting interesting.
もしもあなたが望むなら時折助言を与えましょう。
Please do.
ああ、ありがとう。助かるぜ。あんたの仇も。
ありがとう。期待していますよ。
あんた名前は？
ベアトリーチェはかつて私の名でしたが、譲ってしまった今、私は名前を持ちません。ならば仮の名でも名乗りましょう。ワルギリアス。
Virgilius.
いえ、ワルギリアではいかがです？
Virgilia. Ah, Virgilia. And I think she was added to the character sheet. Alright, let's get to the witch side. Yes! Virgilia! Retired Endless Witch and Beatrice's master, made proper use of the endless magic, and dedicated her life to the happiness and smiles of people, taught Beatrice the endless magic, and retired believing that Beatrice would devote herself to people in the same way. As well as being Beatrice's master, she was also the consulting mage at Beatrice's old home. For this reason, Virgilia interacted with her in the matter of a servant. It is said that this was responsible for causing Beatrice's egotism and excesses. Ah! So we're getting a little bit of an explanation as to how Beatrice came to be Beatrice. Interesting. Alright, so we now have a name for her. Virgilia. So I can no longer say that she's Kumasawa, she's Virgilia. And also, wait, did Shannon get added as dead to the character sheet? Is Shannon dead right now? Hold on. There we go. No, Shannon's still alive. Okay, she's still alive. I don't think that will stay the same for much longer, but yeah. So this is Virgilia.
ワルギリア、ワルキュリア、神話の女神の名前だっけか。
いいえ、ベアトリーチェのもとへ導くものという意味です。煉獄さんの頂上にて待つあの子のもとへあなたを導く、その案内人にふさわしい名前でしょう。
魔女を否定する俺が魔女の助けを借りるとはな。なるほど。異なる主張が同時に存在できるこの矛盾した世界ならそれもありってわけだ。
Yeah, that's the spirit.
笑える話だぜ。
あの子の言葉を借りるけど、本当にあなたは不死鳥のような人ね。戦う気力がもう蘇ってきた。さあ、心の準備がいいならあの子のもとへ。あの子の座するチェス盤の正面へお戻りなさい。私の弟子とどこまで戦えるか楽しみにしていますよ。
ああ、見てろよ。もうあいつの寝言には耳を貸さねえ。とことん冷静に俺の戦いを貫いてやる。
Hell yeah!
もうあいつの挑発には絶対に乗らね
え。では戻りましょう。戦いの席へ。
Here we go.
おお、バトラー。
You seem happy that I'm awake.
そなたどこへ姿を消しておったのか。
Pause, pause. I accidentally said you seem happy that I'm awake. I meant to say Battler. God damn it. No, I've been Battler this whole time!
負け犬は二度と姿を現さないかと思ったぞ。
え。待たせたな。頭を冷やしてきたぜ。
それでわらわとお師匠様の愉快痛快爽快大喝采の素敵ファンタジーバトルへの回答は出たのかい？あんなのファンタジー以外じゃ説明不能だろ。
お嬢様、さっき親切で上品にするとお誓いになられたばかりですよ。
Just give up, Renove.
いけねえいけねえ。バートラの顔を見てるとついつい上機嫌になってしまうものでな。ほれほれほれ、それでバートラ、さっきの戦いだがどういう反応を示してみせるよ。
バートル、何があったって？
何？
このバラ庭園のどこにお前らがニョキニョキ生やした塔が槍がどこに転がってんだ？ねえじゃないか。つまりこいつがブラウン管の中身ってわけさ。
ブラウン管の中身とな。一体何の話を始めるやら。
今この瞬間バラ庭園には何もない。さっきまでは魔法で塔が生えていたかもしれねえさ。だがそれはブラウン管の中を知るまでだ。魔法バトルはお前の解釈主張に過ぎない。今この場に何もないのがその証拠だ。俺はさっきの魔女の戦いにこう反論する。今この場に何もないのは何事もなかったことの証明だとな。
あのな、さすがに第一の晩から大暴れはできぬし、わらわもこのバラ庭園は気に入っているのでな。被害を及ぼさないため結界の中で戦っておったのだ。だから現実には何の影響も与えていないのは当然のことよ。
それがお前の主張だな。ああ、それもありだろうな。だが今この瞬間のバラ庭園に何もない。だから魔法などなかったという俺の主張を何ら妨げるものではないんだ。
おいおい、そんなめちゃくちゃでわらわの魔法を否定できるのか？
Yes.
魔法がないは証明不能。悪魔の証明であるぞ。
今この瞬間のこのバラ庭園が真実だ。覗いた瞬間にブラウン管の中の妖精は蒸発する。そしてここには何の魔法の痕跡もない。だからお前らの魔女の戦いは行われなかった。
なんだその返し手は。その力は もしや。
お忘れですか、お嬢様。
Oh, even Rodolphe is kind of nervous.
多層世界収縮術です。
Multi-planter world collapsing technique?
無限の魔女の力と対になる有限の魔女の力。無限の魔女にしか悟ることができず、そして無限の魔女にとって最も強力な効果を発揮します。
シュレディンガーの猫箱か。
Schrödinger's cat! I knew that was gonna come up as soon as they mentioned the cat analogy!
あの老いぼれ魔女め、余計な入れ知恵を。
時間をロスった。使用人5人とじいさまで6人の死体。状況を確認させてもらうぜ。俺がもたもたしてて時間を無駄にしちまった。ここからはサクサクいくぜ。席につけベアトリーチェ。ようやく第一の番じゃねえか。本番スタートだぜ。どんと来やがれ。
Ah ha ha! Oh no, it's class break! Or not, it's oh, it's the calm chapter break. Alright. Alright. It's now 7 o'clock. Skirmish. This is gonna be an interesting chapter. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. We're gonna begin with the cousins. Mainly Balor, I bet. Alright. Alright. This is where I'm going to have to save this episode. Right here and right now. Oh my god. Oh, I cannot wait to see where this goes. And, hey, maybe, just maybe, I can probably think of more things for a human theory and a psychological theory, because as of right now, I have nothing. I have nothing other than witch theories, for which I want to think more about human theories and psychological theories. Yes, I added in the psychological theory part, because there could be some sort of weirdness when you go into the psyche. So I don't think that should be a part of the human theory. I'm putting that in the psychological theory category. Third category that I'm using right now, because in terms of how I see psychology and how it can affect a story, it's so different than regular, human culprit theories. A psychological culprit theory, well, it's a little bit more complicated. Like, it still ends up, at the end of the day, it's a human culprit in a sense, but also at the same time, the mind can play some pretty weird tricks. The mind can do some pretty weird things that we don't even know yet. So, the psychological theory is different than the human theory because of how wild the brain can get and how much we just don't know about the brain. And, yeah, the psychological theory can also argue against the witch theory. Though, of course, I need to formulate more about how the psychological side could explain the whole scene of what happened in the Rose Garden. Yeah, I could easily say the simple little thing of Balor just thought he saw that, or Meichuji made him think he saw that, but that's way too simple. That is way too simple just to state that he thought he saw what was going on, but that wasn't what's going on. That's way too simple of an explanation, and I won't allow that to be a theory. No, I don't want that simple of a theory of he thought he saw it, but it didn't happen. No, I don't want that sort of theory. I want a theory that I can at least have some sort of a way to, explain it in a different manner rather than he thought he saw it, but he actually didn't. No, I want to explain why. The whys instead of just the whats. Like, the what is, well, wait, how did it come to be? That's what I'm trying to get at, the hows. For the psychological theories, I'm just thinking about the hows. For the human theories, I'm just thinking about well, also in how, and also for the which theory, it's also a how. I have not really focused on the whys yet, though I've been dabbling into the whys. The whos, okay, almost every theory has a who to it, so why am I going over all the question words? How did I get on the tangent? But okay, I'm just gonna go with this. So the whos, each theory states a who. And for almost all theories, they try to explain a how except for the which theory, because with the which theory, you already know how it happened. They explain the magic in the game. But for the whats, that's when the psychological theory can come into play. The what happened, like, okay, the psychological theory, it can explain what happened. While the human theory, well, what happened is obvious, and for the which theory, well, what happened is obvious. The psychological theory can help explain what happened. What are the other question words? Who, what, why? Oh, why. Well, everything has a why to it, so why is basically the question that I have not really focused on for each and every one of my theory sides. So yeah, any more? Who, where? Ooh, I've never thought of the where. Alright, I also need to start thinking about the where. The two questions that I need to start asking myself now is the why and the where. I dabbled in the why, but I've not dabbled in the where. And you might be thinking, oh, didn't it happen in Rokujima's island in the room where this happened? No. I've not really thought about the wheres just yet. So yeah, I need to ask that question in next videos. I need to think about the wheres, because I've not really looked into the wheres just yet. And that could easily get me to understand what might have happened to Jessica and Canon in episode 2 when you think about the wheres. Yeah, I think I've overlooked the wheres. And the whys a little bit, but I've also I dabbled in the whys, but I've never dabbled in the wheres. So yeah, as I continue on, I'm definitely going to go from 3 different angles: the magic angle, the psychological angle, and the human angle, with the questions of how, what, why, who, and where. Is there any question words that I'm missing? I don't think there is. Yeah, there's no more question words. So yes, in the next episodes, we're going to be focused on, well, I'm going to be focused on looking into the question words within each of the 3 possible sides of what's going on. Yes, I'm not going from all one angle. I'm going to go from multiple angles for this game because of how big this game is and how complicated the answer is probably going to be at the very end. Keep in mind, I'm still on the 3rd question arc. Though, by this question arc, this is when I can finally formulate pink theories.
Okay.